Shalom Yasharala, this is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson, basically dealing with, the times that we're approaching as far as the famine of the word. We're getting close to that time, and the prophecies are speaking loud and clear and everything like that. And also addressing certain things, obviously, if you're watching this here video on my second channel, Dawada Reloaded, and if you've been subscribed to that channel, you've been noticing that recently I haven't been uploading on this here channel. Well, and this is why I put certain videos up before I do things like this. But nevertheless, this is my second channel, which is a backup channel, which my regular channel is Dawada with the period at the end. In order to find that channel, you would have to go type that in and then edit the search down to channels, and you'll find it there at the top. But nevertheless, in addressing that situation while I'm back over here on the backup channel is because I just got a strike on my main channel again. All right, which, hey, this is the time that we're coming into as far as, hey, you watch a lot of the brothers noticing their channels are changing up, the apostles channels are changing up. You're seeing YouTube coming out with these different updates and algorithm changes. All right, as far as them censoring Donald Trump. All right, because why? The things that he's speaking, not saying, being pro-Trump or anti-Trump or whatever, whatnot, but the fact of the matter, and you have to understand these things are being used as ploys, because they're not going to ever come out and say, just like, for instance, the civil rights movement and feminist movements, right? They put these so-called pretty words out there, but what's the actual objective of these things? To destroy the family, right? They didn't name it, oh, this is a destroy the family program or whatever, whatnot. Same thing with this. They're not going to say, oh, we want to shut the Hebrew Israelites up from speaking the truth and waking their people up. All right. But nevertheless, Donald Trump, with the Capitol situation, you had him speaking on certain things or whatever, whatnot. And then his supporters started following it, which, not going too far into a lot of that. A lot of that is paid activists or paid protesters and things like that for a certain reason. All right. Because they know that, what the normal people in the masses are going to look at is, oh, Donald Trump was tweeting. His tweets created this here insurrection. This insurrection led to, things getting out of hand or whatever, whatnot, Now, this is something I had to look into the other day. Is this, I guess, a website called Parler, and again, I'm not very familiar with this site, but looking into it, the thing that one of the reasons they started taking it down was, again, they were saying some of Trump supporters was on there. This is how they was using their messaging and everything like that. And sites like that, you know what I'm saying, you could incite insurrections and things like that. But again, you have to understand from the Hebrew Israelites perspective, all right? We're out here telling our people the truth, and which, you have to understand this is like a tug of war type of thing, all right? You got the little ribbon in the middle. The more and more you can get, that ribbon close on your side, that's how, you're about to start winning. Right. And this is what's going on. The more and more that you see in Jake wake up and start prophesying on the highways and the byways and upload these videos to the internet, the more and more Jake is waking up. The more Jake that wake up and expose Esau can't run no more. He can't hide no more. His plans are being exposed. All right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. All right. Amos 3 and 7. All right. The Lord is exposing this man through the words, through the mouths of his prophets. All right. So you have to understand this here dynamic. Now, going back to this other website, I forgot what the damn name, Parler. The other website or whatever, whatnot. Not saying that, a bunch of Hebrew Israelites are on there preaching or whatever, whatnot. Our main tool and avenue is YouTube. But nevertheless, when you understand what that website was about, that was a website pretty much kind of like a YouTube situation, but without the big oversight of big government, more or less to say, because you understand how YouTube is owned by Google, and Google basically is owned by the government. Whether they want to tell you that shit or not, it's owned by the government, all right? And it's corporatocracy. But nevertheless, when you look into these things, you understand that the fact that they had the so-called free speech and whatever, whatnot, they're trying to monopolize these things by only making it to where you only have one or two platforms that you can speak on, and both of these platforms being owned by the same person. All right. Therefore, they have the monopoly over these things. They could just shut you down. All right. They don't want any other people to come out with their own websites. Like, let's say for me, all of a sudden, if I had the money to create my own servers and so on and so forth, and allowed you to come over there with your free speech, and I could go and sell out to these advertisers or whatever, where the advertisers would want to come, they could be making money. Their products would be being seen. But the fact of the matter that I allow people to have free speech, therefore the government, they wouldn't be able to use their tool of the media to brainwash the people. So you have to understand these things, all right? But nevertheless, going back into this here lesson about the famine of the word, All right, like I was saying, as far as the tug of war situation, as far as exposing this damn devil, we're getting closer to our salvation. Esau's trying to put you back to sleep, so you have to understand these things. All right, so I'm gonna jump into this here lesson about these things that's going on. I just pretty much gave you the moral of all these situations or whatever, whatnot. But hey, for you subscribers and you listeners, you know us, especially here at GMS. All right, now whenever you hear your regular YouTubers speak about these things, like, comment, and subscribe. All right, they want to subscribe because they want you to be able to stay tuned to watch all their videos. All right, liking and commenting shows that people are actually interacting with your channel, which is going to move you up the algorithm and things like that. We don't care about those things because we're not getting paid off of the views on our videos or whatever, whatnot. Now, when we saying things like, hey, subscribe to this here channel, subscribe to my backup channel, subscribe to my brother's channel or whatever, whatnot, it's for your own edification, your own, well-being, because of the fact of, like in my instance right now, I don't know when they're going to strike my next video down or whatever, whatnot. And if you understand, as a YouTube creator, they hit you with a strike, then all of a sudden you can't upload, can't post or whatever, whatnot. Now, on my main channel, you know what I'm saying? The people that watch just that channel alone don't have the second channel. They're not going to see any uploads for a whole week or so. They may think that, I might have fell off or whatever, whatnot, and so on and so forth. This is why it's important to have these backup channels. This is also why I go in and show you, our main page channels or whatever, whatnot. We had one of our main page channels. We just lost that not too long ago. So, you know what I'm saying? It's always best to have these backup plans. It's more or less like insurance. All right. So let's jump into this here lesson. And there will be a video on this here, on this page, as well as showing these other channels or whatever, whatnot. But let's jump into the lesson. All right. We're going to start here at the book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 11. All right. And these are the times that we're in right now, man, where Esau is doubling down on these things. Amos 8 and 11 says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh. Okay, and so right now, bread, food, these things nourish you, keep you built up or whatever, whatnot, And so what's going on? Well, let me read the next verse. Let me continue on. It says, verse 11, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh. So what? The scriptures, Ezekiel 37 talk about, so I prophesied as I was commanded, or the verse before that talk about prophesying unto the four winds, all right, unto these, basically these bodies that don't have no living spirit inside of them. All right, then the spirit came upon them and then they was living. All right, so this is your nourishment to build you up. Blessed is he that readeth, with all that getting, get understanding. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. Where are you getting all these things from? And what's the main conduit of delivering this here message, man? We are on the highways and the byways, but, we get way more views, what I'm saying, on the internet, like in our camp, we might have 7 or 8 brothers on the other side of the camera that's watching our videos. But however, you may have 15, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 different people that's watching the videos over the internet. Thousands of people wind up watching the videos over the internet versus how many people actually come out to the highways and the byways that watch. So, and, for the brothers that watch, on the other side of the video, whatever, whatnot, they may know where we are. Sometimes, like if we happen to be moving locations or whatever, whatnot, they happen to know where we are. So they're a little bit more in tune. But for you that are watching on the other side, it would be beneficial for you to be able to collect all these other backup channels and everything like that. Because why? We know, according to the prophecies, there's going to be a famine of the word. As we're watching outside, we see these things about, the Donald Trump with the extremist tweets and these websites that are going to allow extremist views and how they're trying to get rid of quote unquote extremist, all right, ideologies and things like that. Now you have to understand these here buzzwords. All right, to them, what they mean in the definition of an extremist is somebody that's going against their ideology. Just like, for instance, if they tell you that there is no difference, gender as a man-made construct, and if you was to say anything opposite than that, then that's an extremist view that you're pushing. When we all know that when you're born, all right, it ain't ever been, you have women that give birth, and then the child either have a penis or a vagina. All right, they either have sperm or ovaries. All right, they're either gonna be more dominant in testosterone or estrogen. All right, so these are the different things that's gonna wind up happening. When they hit puberty, boys, what they say, their balls drop. Women, they start having their period. All right, so these are clear defining traits between men and women. All right, same way where, just for instance, not to get too visual, but women, they have periods, which mean they bleed from their vaginas, right? These are just words we come up with: a vagina, period, so on and so forth, right? Now, when you look at the animal kingdom, they don't speak English like how we speak English, right? So it's not that it's a man-made construct. But when you look at a female dog or a female lion, she still has her menstrual cycle, right? The one that has the menstrual cycle is the same one that still has that houses the babies inside of their womb and give birth, right? So you know what I'm saying? And this is the same role. And then the same creature that has the menstrual cycle that holds the child or whatever, whatnot, you know, they're also being plowed and inseminated by the opposite sex who has a rod, right? So is it nowadays they would call that an extremist view if you say that, oh no, sex is isn't a man-made concept or whatever, whatnot. You know, there's a definition between a male and a female, and it's, you know, it's based off of what genitalia you have, you know. They would say things like that. That's an extremist view because it doesn't go along with what they're saying. So as we're talking about this here medical situation they got going on and telling people the truth about these things, exposing Esau for who he is, waking our people up, they say, what, this is extremist views, medical misinformation, hate speech, all right? You know, I believe the video that I pretty much got struck down for was for what? Hate speech, all right? Talking about, you know, the video topic was on, you know, woe unto them that call good evil and evil good, you know, about talking about taking the jab and how the jab is going to save your life and everything like that. But all the examples that we keep getting off of TV, people getting sick and dying or whatever, whatnot, and so on and so forth. So how can you tell me that this is going to save my life, but every example that I'm looking at is actually people dying? But then they deem that hate speech. You see what I'm saying? That's an extremist ideology. You're spreading extremist views. You should just go along with what they say, all right? And in fact, that's an extremist view, all right? But nevertheless, this is a point where we're coming to right now, man, where you can't speak out over certain things. And they showed you with Donald Trump, if they can silence the leader of the United States at that point in time, all right, they can silence anybody else, all right? Hey, but they don't say anything about George Bush and all those politicians back at that time. They're talking about some terrorists, and they went over there and actually started bombing people and blowing people up, talking about support the troops as they go over there and mass murder people. They didn't say that was extremist views or anything like that, but hey, this is the time that we're living in. Amos 8:11 again, it says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro and seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. And that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. All right, and this is going into, you know, let me get this next precept to add to this. This is going into once they take the true men of the Lord off the internet airwaves and everything like that. Basically, you're going to be left with these other guys, because we know that you have these other camps out here that's teaching you other things like, hell, we just recently heard about one of these camps. I think it was ISUPK talking about so-called black men or black people that are police officers that shoot unarmed black men is what they call the mark of the beast. You see what I'm saying? Now, you know, this is what you're going to be left with. Now, when you try that, like, the scripture say he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive this in marking their right hand and their forehead that they can't buy or sell. So if you're going to cause all, this is not just the mark that's going to go on Jake, right? Or really just the tribe of Judah. This is going to be on all, everybody, even Edomites. So how can the so-called white man force the so-called another white man to become a so-called black man to begin with? We could just stop there. How you going to cause a so-called white man to become a so-called black man? Then for him to go over there and start shooting unarmed black men, that don't make no damn sense. All right, but this is what you're going to wind up being left with, all right? You're going to be going from north even to the east looking for that water, but you're not going to be able to find it, man. It's going to dry your ass out because why? It's nothing but lies out here, man. Oh, Christianity is the mark of the beast. The so-called white woman is the mark of the beast. This is what you're going to be wind up left with, man. All right? So let me go to back that up with 2nd Ezra 5. Oh, not 2nd Ezra. Second Ezra 5 and 9. It says, and salt water. Let me go to 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and the menstruous woman shall bring forth monsters. All right, because why? A lack of guidance. You got all these people that's over here teaching our people the wrong way. Just like, you know, our women are teaching our younger women or whatever, whatnot. You don't need that, man. You ain't got to stick with him for this, and that. Got these women having babies out of wedlock and raising, you know, single mothers. You know, they're being held up on a pedestal. Then they wondering why, well, where are all the good men at? Well, are you single women raising good men? All right, because you're the ones that's creating these things or whatever, whatnot, you know. So because of a lack of true guidance and leadership, this is where we are right now. All right. And this is the same thing that's going to happen when it comes to hearing this here truth, man. Like I said, you got some people out here telling you that the so-called black man being a police officer shooting other unarmed so-called black men is the mark of the beast. This is where you're going to be led to, man. All right. And then, you're going to be like, oh, as long as I ain't a cop, you know what I'm saying? As long as I don't apply for, when I see them sending me applications to apply to be a police officer, I'm going to turn that shit down and I'll be good. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then wit shall hide himself, and understanding withdraw into his secret chamber. Going back into the famine of the word, man. All right, because look, you despised hearing the word of the Lord when it was when you had the liberty. All right, when the Lord was trying to give it to you, you despise these things, man. All right, so what? When it's time, when the famine of the word comes, you've been lollygagging, not subscribing, not doing what you're supposed to be doing, making your diligence. You're calling an election sure, and all these different things. When these things come to pass, are you going to be left out here with these other guys out here, man? Like the GOCC groups. The Esau don't have no problem with leaving these kind of guys out there, man. Especially people like ISUPK. Again, telling you that the so-called black man shooting other black men down as a police officer is a mark of the beast. He loved people like them because you know why? They're trying to be extra militant, and they're telling their people to go get guns and go out to the shooting range and post this up on the internet so they can use that against them to come down on them, man. They love people like that. But then other people are like, the men of the Lord is what? The men that's under great millstone and the men teaching the same doctrine and things like that. What are they telling you, man? Not to take the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, and so on and so forth, and all these different things, man. Yeah, you're going to go through Jacob's trouble, but the Lord is going to provide a way out for you or whatever, whatnot. All these different things. They don't want you to hear these men because, why? These men are going against their system. These men are going to make it hard for them to come down on you, all right, without a just cause, man. All right, these people want to throw us in jail and try to kill us or whatever, whatnot, because, why? We don't want to bow down to their images and their idols, as a metaphor, like the things that happen in the scriptures, because we don't want to take this here jab or whatever, whatnot. All right, well, if you want to kill me for that, and you tell me the alternative is if I don't take it, I'll wind up dying. If I'm going to die anyway, let me just die under my own means instead of just submitting it to you, man. I don't think that that's so wicked, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this is what you're going to wind up, this is a bigger threat to them because, why? They're trying to control everybody, their minds and their movements, all right? Let me go from there to, this is Isaiah 5:20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. And this is what you have going on right now as far as this extremist speech. Oh, they're spreading extremist views, hate speech or whatever, whatnot, whatever. What have I become thy enemy because I tell you the truth? All right, hey. And right now, it's not a place of opinion that whether you think that we're right or not, or if you feel that we're right or not, all your opinions and your feelings and all that should be out the window right about now, man. Listen to what we're telling you. Turn on the TV, walk outside and see if it's not true or not. All right? Forget about your feelings. No matter how rough we say, hey, America is going to be shut down. The storehouse is going to be found empty. The grinding is going to cease. All these different things. We're telling you about these things. Go outside and see if it's actually happening or not. Take your feelings out and go outside and see if you not sitting at home under lockdowns or whatever, whatnot. Unemployment rate is super high. You wait on an unemployment check or a stimulus check, man. All right. He calls us all, both small and great, to receive a mark in their right hand and their foreheads. All right. At least to be able to buy or sell. See if you can't go to the grocery store right now without a damn mask on there. See if you can actually go back to work without getting a jab at certain places, or if they're not trying to push all these jabs out. See if these things are not there yet, man. All right. So look. Stay out of your emotions and your opinions about certain things and just come and reason with us. Hear what we're saying and look around and see if you're not actually experiencing these things, man. People say that we're spreading hate speech. People were saying that all the time. Oh, you guys always speaking negativity and hate speech or whatever, whatnot. No, we was just warning you about the days that you will be living in right now, man, where the mirth of the city is gone, man. So it was a couple years back, everybody say, oh, y'all speaking hate speech and this and that, go get a life. But we was actually showing them love. We was trying to warn them of the impending danger that was coming. And guess what? They're all living it right now. This is why depression rate is flying out the window. Suicide rate is flying out the window right now, man. Alcohol consumption and drug consumption and depression. All these different things are skyrocketing right now, man. Divorce rates, because of what? People aren't happy. The mirth is gone up out of the city, man. We didn't cause you to lose your job. We didn't make the lockdown happen. We didn't cause all these different things to happen or whatever, whatnot. Your grandma to get sick or so on and so forth, and your kids to stay at home. We didn't cause all these things. We just warned you that they was coming to pass beforehand, man. All right, so, but look inside of yourself. Are you actually condemning us for telling you the truth when we were trying to warn you? Are you really calling evil good and good evil? All right, we was telling you the truth in the good parts of certain things, but you call that hate speech and extremist views or whatever, whatnot. But you're actually feeling the extreme ideology of these people as they actually lock you down and things like that, as they actually clip your favorite YouTubers and the people that are spreading truth into you right now, man. All right. Hey, you got Cardi B. They can sit out there and sell WAP, the music video for WAP, and you can watch all these rappers out here talking about drinking lean and shooting up each other or whatever, whatnot, and killing each other, making all these different videos about how they want to harm one another, whatever. And these videos get millions of views all day long. But guess what? Even Cardi B herself knows she'll be jamming that music WAP. Her daughter will walk and she'll cut it off because why? She know that ain't good enough for her young daughter to be listening to, but yet she could promote it to you. All right, but they'll let that wickedness spread. All right, going back to the bitter and the sweet water. All right, they'll let that bitterness go out there, whatever, whatnot. But they don't want you to have that real sweet stuff because why? It's harmful. That's why you go to the grocery store, man. They got a lot of junk food and all this fake processed food for real cheap. But then you want the real good food. It's hard to find and it's super expensive. Why? You think that they don't want to sell it? No, it's because hey, they want you. Hey, the good stuff they try to hide from you, man. All right, they don't want everybody up on their level, man. All right. Let me go to the book of Daniel. And this here is coming out a lot more lately because, with his draconian law speaking like, he had the appearance of a lamb but spoke as a dragon. All right, this is what's going on right now. They're framing mischief by law. All right, they're creating all these policies and things like that to justify their wickedness. All right, Daniel 8:25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. So look, he's creating these here new laws. About the hate speech, extremist views and ideology or whatever, whatnot. And that's a blanket term that he could throw anything and everything up under there. If you tell a little boy that's been brainwashed that he think that he could be a little girl or whatever, whatnot, like, nah, you was born with this genitalia. This is just what you are, man, or whatever, whatnot. Oh, that's hate speech. You can't be telling this and that, man. So on and so forth. We got to create policy for these things to protect these people. So if this little boy was being brainwashed, we want the brainwash to sink in because we know it'll destroy him. We can't tell this person the truth, man. All right. Hey, a lot of you men, you see this when dealing with these women, man, because women have been told lies their whole life. Oh, it ain't nothing wrong with you. All this, and don't tell the truth about herself. So you see these women that are out here delusional, thinking that, you got 4 baby daddies, 5 kids, you know what I'm saying? Or 5 kids and, 6 baby daddies or some crazy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? 35, 37, no job, ain't never did nothing more than serve tables at a restaurant, that she deserves some high quality man or whatever, whatnot, because she's just a princess. Her daddy always taught her she was a prince, or whoever always told her she was a princess. She good enough for any man. All right. And when you try to actually be logical with this here woman, like, yo, you more of a damn liability than an asset. You're not really making me better. You're not building me up. You slowing me down. Right? You're not really in that type of position. You can't tell her these types of things. And if you try to tell her these types of things, something wrong with you. Because while she's been lied to her whole life, man, nobody's ever really put that mirror up to her face. And this is what they want to do to you, man. And you look at these women, their lives are completely destroyed. This is why, it's better to tell a person the truth, the hardcore truth. Hey, bro, you overweight, bro. Your weight is really getting out of hand, bro. You looking real sloppy over there, man. Yeah, it might hurt his feelings, but it might save his damn life, man. All right. It says Daniel 8:25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, because what they're doing is trying to save people's feelings, save people this and that. We don't want you guys to go through this no more. We can't have this to happen no more. All right. It says, he shall magnify himself in heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the princes and shall be broken without hand. So it says, and by peace shall destroy many. With his speaking like or posturing like a lamb. We want to get these extremist views off because we don't want this insurrection, this and that, or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, there would be insurrection in the streets and the governments would all be hung if all the truth about what they were really doing to their populations came out, man. If everybody was really aware that the governments was poisoning their air supply, their water supply, their food supply, the brains of their children, and trying to put these medical situations inside of them, the whole population will revolt against their damn leaders. But what? The leaders have to use this thing called media, all right, to brainwash your ass, man. All right, so that you wouldn't understand these things and then be like, you know what? Nah, just like on the simplest level, man. If you, any business, right? At any business, if you was an employer, business owner, right, versus the employee. If the employee ever found out that all they got to do, for instance, right? My mom used to be a cosmetologist. She used to be a hairstylist, right? She had her own hair salon, worked for or whatever, whatnot. Now, and what she wound up doing was she wound up buying a hair salon from one of these hair salon chains. It was like a Fantastic Sam. She bought it and whatever, she got her own hair salon, right? Now, she had some people working for her, whatever, whatnot. And the girls that started working for her, they was actually her co-workers at this Fantastic Sam's before she wound up, they wound up going out of business and she wound up just renting out the building, put her own shit up or whatever, whatnot. You know, it was way easier than what it sounds. She didn't buy the business, but they just so happened to be moving out. The place was still up for rent. She's like, well, fuck it, I'll just rent it or whatever, whatnot, right? Now, if the women that worked for her understood that, hell, if I was to sit here and just rent out the damn building my damn self and get these other girls to work for me, I would have my own business. But instead, I'm going to keep working for this here woman and paying her off rent for my little seat or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I could just cut her up out the woodwork. If they only knew those things or whatever, whatnot, they would understand that. You work for a lawn service or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you was to buy your own equipment or whatever, whatnot, you wouldn't have to go and take the peanuts from this guy. You would have to take the pennies while he's taking the dollars, man. But see, most employees don't understand this about their employer, so they'll work for peanuts or pennies while he's getting the dollars because he's smart enough to sit there and buy out the situation, the equipment and everything like that for you, call you up and get you to work for them. All right? That's why you have the relationship between employers and employees. The employees are just too dumb enough to realize that if I just sit here and buy him out or whatever, whatnot, or again, the simplest concept, you know, in some businesses, you know, cutting grass, a lawn service. Well, if I go buy my own lawnmower, truck and trailer, weed eater, and leaf blower, I can go put out an ad. Now I'm hiring. Now I got my own lawn company instead of going to work for this guy. All right? The same situation, man. All right? Hey, the governments wouldn't need to be brainwashing the people. But let me grab this last one. We're going to close out here in the book of Isaiah. What was it? 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that they write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. All right, and that's what they got going on right now with these new algorithms and these new hate speech laws, medical misinformation going up against the CDC and whatever, whatnot. This is what they're trying to do, man. They're trying to finesse our people, man, put them back to sleep and everything like that, man. But you have to be wiser than that, all right? You have to understand why they keep taking down our channels and everything like that. And we just out here preaching. We ain't out here with no guns or nothing like that. But then the other camps out there that's showing things like that and spreading misinformation, they get thousands and thousands. One video, you know, they out here screaming on the so-called white man and doing all kind of different things like that, getting 11,000 views on one video, you know, because of the controversy, you know, where we might get 20 views on straight edification, man. We just going into a straight lesson about something, bringing out straight edification with proof and facts. You know what I'm saying? Only get 20 views, but we're more of a threat than the ones of 11,000 views, and they create inciting riots on the side of the road and everything like that, man. All right, because they want to see us in a dysfunctional state, not into a uplifting state where we're being taught, being fed, and being brought up. But guess what? The serving line is being you know, they're closing the doors to the serving line, man. And it's ultimately the Most High, because why? The election's almost sealed, man. We're almost up out of here. Let me close out with that, actually. In the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom, all right, this truth, all right, that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are the children of Israel. All right, your power's name is Yahweh, all right, who the word English calls God. His son name is Yahushua, all right. So-called white man are the Edomites we here in Babylon. All right, we about to be delivered up out of here. The RFID chip is the mark of the beast. All right, this is the gospel that's being pushed throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, and that vibration is being lifted up, you know. It says, in this gospel the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So as we see, the famine of the word is coming. That means what? The word has been going throughout the four corners of the earth. It's made its rounds. Everybody that heard about this, heard about us. They didn't got a whiff of this, you know, this doctrine or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The seeds have been planted. All right, so now it's time for the end to come, man. All right, so you need to do what you need to do to make sure you got enough food to you know, how you say, doomsday prep. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, the store is about to be closed for the next 3 weeks or whatever, whatnot. You need to go get enough food before, you know what I'm saying, you sit out here and starve out, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth and never will. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.